What's up, you guys? Chet Guthrie, the Dream Poet here, coming to you all with another fun-filled vlog here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And today, you guys, I have something very, very special for you guys. And you all might be wondering why I am standing out next to a thoroughfare. Well, here, let me show you. It was on this spot in mid-November 1863 that Lieutenant General Ambrose Burnside and the Union Army were frantically constructing fortifications in the Knoxville area. You see, there was a Confederate army that was heading down this way. Now, as a result, Ambrose Burnside and his men, they construct a series of forts in this area. One of them, Fort Sanders. The other is one we will actually be visiting today. You see, it was in this present-day thoroughfare slash apartment complexes where a fort by the name of Fort Sanders would stand. The reason why it was named Fort Sanders was because it was in order to commemorate another Union general. Now, this Union general, his name was William P. Sanders, and he fended off a group of 17,000 Confederate soldiers, 600 cavalrymen in this area from an attack in November 18th, 1863, I believe it was. Now, what might not look like that much now, surprisingly, this fort, its walls were quite large. In fact, historical sources say it stood between 18 and 20 feet tall. Along these very, very high walls, there was also a ditch that ran along the fort that was between 8 and 10 feet deep and about 12 feet wide. But it was in November that General James Longstreet, a general with the Confederate Army, would make his attack on Fort Sanders. His men, they would try to jump the walls. Sadly, though, they were met with barbed wire, mud, broken wood. A lot of Longstreet's men were finding out that this was not going to be easy. This siege lasted about 12 days, and 4,000 of Longstreet's men attacked northwest of the bastion, and it was in the dawn of November 29th, 1863. However, this did not end pretty because of the deep ditch. Yes, because of the deep ditch and the tall walls that kept General Longstreet and his men from getting any further. In fact, in those 12 days, he lost quite a few men. Now, that was a failed attack, but this is not the reason why we are here today, you guys. We are actually here, well, to see Fort Dickerson, which Fort Dickerson is a fort that is the same model type as Fort Sanders. However, it has been preserved for future generations. But before that, I think we'll pay our respects at the monument that is just over this hill. Before we go to the marker that I want to check out, I just saw this one. This is the Tennessee state marker that shows where the 4 brigades of General James Longstreet's 1st Corps, where they made their onslaught and laid siege to Knoxville, and it did not end pretty. But I just thought that was interesting, and I felt that we had to stop and check this one out and kind of read it for a little bit. Now, this is the marker that I wanted to check out. Now, this is from the Daughters of the Confederacy that was donated, but this just commemorates what happened in this spot November 29th of 1863. Nor wreck, nor change, nor winter blight, nor time's remoteless doom shall dim one ray of glory's light that glides the glorious tomb. And that one was donated on the anniversary November 29th, 1914. And interestingly enough, this monument has been through several controversies over the years, mainly with a lot of, well, the recent years civil unrests. This monument has been desecrated, it has been spray painted. It's been through quite a lot, even though it doesn't necessarily represent either side, but just the men who died in this area and a very sad part of U.S. American history. About 600,000 men lost their lives in this war. But anyway, we are going to head to Fort Dickerson. Let's do it. Anchor down. Okay, now that was slightly harder to find than I thought it would be. But you guys, I wanted to give you all a little bit of information before we check out Fort Dickerson. Fort Dickerson was one of 16 forts here in the Knoxville area. You see, during the Civil War, especially in 1863, Knoxville, Tennessee was considered to be the most fortified city in the entire Confederacy. Or I should say, it was fortified by the Union. Fortified by the Union, under Union control. Yes, since this area was very hilly, very rocky, much like Chattanooga, Tennessee, this was a perfect area, a stubborn area to be captured. And through Fort Dickerson, by the way, these 16 forts, several earthen mounds, as well as 2 dams that would flood the cities nearby. These forts were built by General Orlando Poe. What he did is he acquired 300 civilians and slaves, and with them they built these 16 forts. And if you look over this hill, yes, Fort Dickerson was very, very stubborn. So let's check out Fort Dickerson. And quite honestly, you guys, this is a perfect way to compare and contrast forts that have been preserved and others that have been completely lost. Much like Fort Sanders, the fort, or I should say the location of the fort that we visited just a few moments ago. And it looks like we have ourselves a cannon. By the way, this explains what Fort Dickerson did look like, and the nearby other forts, Fort Higley to the northeast, Fort Stanley to southwest. Then you have the Holston River, where the University of Tennessee would one day be. Well, it was kind of old, or kind of already there. Did you all know that the University of Tennessee is actually older than the state of Tennessee itself? Bet y'all didn't know that one. But let's check this out. 3-inch ordnance rifle. I take it this was one of the spots where men at Fort Dickerson would fire down on the Confederate enemy below, thus pushing them away. I find it very interesting because Lookout Mountain and the battle above the clouds, which was controlled by the Confederacy and the Unions going up them, or Union soldiers going up the mountain. Here at Fort Dickerson, it was the exact opposite. Confederate soldiers were going up the hill while the Union soldiers held the top of the hill. And if I'm not mistaken, I take it that it's in this location where the magazine once stood, or I should say the Underground magazine, the one that is featured on the map. Very interesting On the map of Fort Dickerson, it makes it look like it's still a freestanding structure, but obviously it's not. I still find that quite interesting though. And it looks like we have ourselves another cannon. What if they've ever fired these before? Honestly, it makes you wonder if they were even donated at some point. But just check this out. Check out the earthen works that these were. Check that out. Now I can only imagine men standing in this area right here and just giving the general of the Confederate Army absolute heck. And in doing my research, I found this out to be pretty interesting. But the general that Fort Dickerson was named after, he actually died in a battle not far from Cleveland, Tennessee. If y'all haven't kept up with me in this channel for a while, you know that Cleveland, Tennessee is my hometown. And looks like there's another 3-inch ordnance rifle, another hilly area that stood overlooking the city below. I wonder what kind of artifacts were found here. I imagine in excavating this area, they probably found bayonets, cannonballs, coins, surgical equipment, that kind of thing. And looks like we have ourselves another marker. And it does look like this is what is considered to be the back door to Knoxville. It is according in this marker that Fort Dickerson has been under one battle, one attack, and it looks like it happened during the 1863 siege of Knoxville. By the way, General Braxton Bragg was in this area. He is a very well-known Civil War general that tells a very interesting story. He actually had to retreat to Chattanooga. So you have to wonder who all lost their lives on this property. So I would say there's not a whole lot left, but it is preserved regardless. I mean, I kind of imagine this is probably what it already may have looked like during the battle. If I'm not mistaken, that siege, the siege of Knoxville, lasted for about 2 months. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it lasted between November 13th, 1863 and ended December 4th. It's a very large tree. So, as I was kind of doing my research, I found out that you had a lot of soldiers that were coming in off the river, off the Holston and Little Tennessee River, and that is how they were getting through. I'm honestly surprised how long the siege lasted. And really, you hear about a lot of things such as the battle above the clouds, the battle at Chickamauga, but you really don't hear that much about Knoxville. Knoxville was the most fortified city in the entire country during the Civil War. And it almost kind of makes me wonder too if maybe this place is haunted. I love my history, but there is still that curious side that I have. Please stay on path. Alrighty then. Now, somewhere on this property that I have been reading, there is a quarry. Actually, that's probably what took me so long to find this property, is that Google Maps was taking me to the quarry site. Not exactly where I wanted to go. Just check out the Smoky Mountains in the foreground. That's beautiful. Alrighty guys, I believe this is going to be my last vlog. My last vlog of the year. But anyway, you guys, 2021 has been a very fun year. A lot of things have happened. A lot of cool things have happened. A lot of not so cool things have happened. But I'm very thankful that you all have followed my channel. 532 subscribers strong. Thank you all so very much. It always means a lot. Remember, you guys, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care, that y'all want to see more. So, until next year, my friends, vlog over.